It's quiet. Too quiet. The stars are still out. Cities sleep. Phones lie silent. But 300 feet under the surface of the Baltic Sea, a single signal is sent. A NATO submarine, undetected by Russian sonar, fires a Tomahawk missile. Destination, Kaliningrad. Impact in 94 seconds. Within moments, radar stations light up. Russian commanders scramble. Lines that have stayed cold for decades are suddenly burning hot. In the Kremlin, a red phone rings. And the man who answers it knows the world has changed forever. This is not fiction. This is not some future. This is what could happen if NATO attacked Russia tomorrow. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. At first glance, it sounds like just another political alliance. But beneath that name lies the most powerful military force the world has ever seen. It was born in 1949, a cold answer to the fire of the Soviet Union. 12 nations stood together back then. Today, there are 31. And together, they command the skies, the seas, and the shadows. NATO's military isn't just large, it's smart, it's everywhere, and it's always watching. With over 3.5 million personnel, tens of thousands of tanks, fighter jets, warships, aircraft carriers, and perhaps most terrifying of all, a nuclear arsenal spread across continents. They don't fight wars the old way anymore. No cavalry, no trenches. Today it's satellites, drones, cyber warfare, and coordinated strikes that happen before the enemy even knows they're under attack. And then there's the United States. The core of NATO. With over 800 military bases scattered around the world, they can strike anywhere on the planet in under 24 hours. Their Air Force alone has more aircraft than the next 10 countries combined. And the US Navy? It's larger than the next 13 navies, including Russia's, combined. But perhaps the most dangerous part isn't what NATO shows the world. It's what it keeps hidden. Black operations, unmarked drones, cyber teams that can cripple a country's infrastructure before the first shot is fired. So if NATO ever attacked, it wouldn't start with tanks. It would start with silence. And then there's Russia, a nation forged in fire. From Napoleon to Hitler, invaders have tried and failed because Russia doesn't fight like the West. It bleeds and survives. Its landscape is a weapon, vast forests, brutal winters. Even today, generals still whisper, never fight a land war in Russia. But NATO wouldn't invade lightly. They'd begin with missiles, hundreds, maybe thousands, striking radar sites, airfields, communication hubs. Cyber units would crash power grids. Satellites would blind Russian defenses. But Russia wouldn't blink. It has over 6,000 nuclear warheads, intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach Washington in 30 minutes, submarines that disappear beneath the Arctic ice and wait. And Moscow? It has a doctrine. Escalate to de-escalate. If threatened, even conventionally, Russia may strike first with a tactical nuclear weapon. Not a bluff, a signal. To NATO, to the world. Back off or burn. And what about China, Iran, North Korea? Would they stay silent or see this chaos as their moment? The world doesn't react to war, it spirals. Global markets crash. Cities brace for cyber attacks. Gas lines form across Europe. Families stockpile. Governments prepare for the unthinkable. And the people, they just wait, watching, praying that this war doesn't go nuclear. But history whispers It always does. If NATO crosses that line, if even a single NATO missile lands on Russian soil, crow, the war changes forever. Russia has no illusions of winning a conventional war, but nuclear, that's a different game, and Putin knows it. Imagine this, one tactical nuclear weapon dropped on a NATO battalion in Eastern Europe. Thousands vaporized, a message sent, but what happens next? Does NATO respond in kind? The doctrine says yes. Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all. But retaliation isn't just military, it's political, psychological, economic. While millions begin fleeing cities, stock markets collapse, communication satellites jammed, air travel suspended, the world enters lockdown, not for a virus, but for annihilation. And then come the sirens. Submarine-launched missiles, hypersonic gliders, anti-satellite warfare. Entire cities could vanish in less than 20 minutes. Moscow, Berlin, Washington, all targets, all vulnerable. No nation truly wins nuclear war. They survive, broken. Radiation clouds would drift for weeks. Global temperatures would drop, crops fail. A nuclear winter begins. Billions would starve, societies collapse. And the survivors, they would envy the dead, because what's left is silence. And from that silence, only one question remains. Was it worth it? There's no more countdown, only silence. The war didn't end, it just paused. The bombs may have stopped falling, but the world never stopped breaking. New York is a shadow. Berlin is burning. Moscow is quiet. Too quiet. Economies gone. Banks empty. Borders meaningless. Global trade evaporates. Famine spreads faster than the fallout, and every cloud could kill you. The sky turns black, not from warplanes, but from ashes of cities. Temperatures drop, crops die, nations vanish, not with a bang, but with a whisper. This is the nuclear winter. 6 billion survivors, and no sun to see the next day. People don't die just from radiation. They die from hopelessness. Governments fall, leaders hide, the common man becomes a hunter, a thief, a monster. Is this still Earth? No one answers. Satellites fall from orbit. The internet fades, AI shuts down. Humans, once gods of technology, now struggle to light a fire. And above it all, no signal comes back from space, no alien invasion, no savior, just the cold silence of the void. Was NATO right to strike first? Was Russia bluffing? After all, history won't decide, because history was vaporized. There's no one left to write it. But somewhere, underground, a child is born. Not into peace, not into war, but into ruins. And maybe, just maybe, he won't repeat our mistakes. This was not World War III. This was humanity's final test, and we failed.